reading out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold.
Hump-Day.
He'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin.
And the reason you know that is because of Henry the Camel. See? Remember, we named him Henry. If he was not up there, you may not be aware that it's Hump Day. We have yet another loaded program for you today. Join us. Hey, how are you? Kion Brown's going to join us. I'm going to send him the invite early. Kion, if you're watching, if you can get on whenever, let me know. We're going to break down the brackets. So Kion will be on. Damien Sordelette on the eve of spring football practice will join us. David Teel, we're going to look at the bracket a little bit, talk about the ACC. One ACC team eliminated already. That didn't take long. And then Mike McGuire, the head women's basketball coach at Radford. Join us in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room or on the professional door text line at 391-0788. There we go. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope you're well. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, TLV 19. Yep. What's up, Chris Lester? How you doing, brother? What's up, Thunderman? Yeah, United States loses the WBC gold medal game. That's going to set the tone nicely for the Major League season here in this country. It'll be the last season we have for a couple of years. enjoy. Mark DeRosa, not a good manager. Why Bregman is playing the whole game, who knows? But anyway, how's everybody doing? Cold. It is cold. It's too cold. Baseball canceled Radford tonight. Cold. They were supposed to travel Tuesday. I don't know if Tech's doing the same thing. I'm guessing they are. Can't play baseball in cold. There's actually a certain actual rule in place, which is smart. What's up, Prometheus? Yeah, it's just cold. Just time to be done. It's just time for this nonsense to be done. It's March 18th. It doesn't need to be this cold. I know we don't have springtime yet, and I know we can't count on 60 degrees all the time, but does it need to be 19 on March the 18th? Still waiting on that global warming. But we got a lot going on today. NCAA last night got underway, the first four. First four is magic. That's why I hate to see them expanding the tournament. Howard the Bison. I know Kenny Blakeney, the head coach, very well. Congratulations to him. Great, great gentleman and a really good coach. And Howard won their first ever NCAA game over UMBC. So the Bison move on. I think they have Michigan next. So it will end there. But, man, what a lot of fun. And I know exactly what that team's going through, the kids, because we did the same thing at Radford, winning our first ever game at the first four in Dayton. And it is a very special feeling. Those kids last night, what they did, they showered, they celebrated, they showered, and then they got on a chartered plane. Huge, big plane, got to sit around, spread out in the aisles like we did. Food, you name it, they had it all there. Beverages, I mean, not, non-alcoholic beverages. And they got to travel in grand style. How about that? Texas, which probably has their own private jet, gets a shot with about a second and a half to go. They knock off NC State 68-66. So Texas will now go to play BYU. And I have Texas winning that game. By the way, if you haven't joined, go join our Big Dog Sports Talk Tournament Challenge through ESPN. If you have a bracket and you want to join, jump in. Big Dog, DAWG, Sports Talk. 4 words. Just search for our group name and join. There's no password. Everybody can join. Just one entry, though. Marva was denied. You can't be picking two brackets in our league, Marva. Come on. So jump in. Today's your last day. You have, by the way, I did get confirmation. I know Wayne was asking. You have until noon tomorrow. So you do have time to pick, but you go ahead and jump in the league now. A lot of people will wait till after the first 4 tonight because that, the SMU Miami, Ohio game, depending on who wins that one, you might look at that one as a potential upset in the next round. So Texas wins 68-66, and Howard wins in the first 4. 2 more games tonight. Tournament's not off to a great start in terms of its coverage. I don't know who the play-by-play guy was in the first game, but, Lord, I was hoping the trend of calling the basket the cup was over. It's never made sense. It was younger broadcasters. Hey, the cup. Takes it to the cup. It's not a cup. It's a basket. It's a rim. Anyway, he said that about 700 times last night to where I finally had to mute the television. I miss Spiro Dides, which I never thought I would say, but I did last night. And then just a complete absolute cluster, you-know-what, with Vital and Barkley. Whew. And it's being universally ripped this morning as I woke up and looked at the comments. They talked about everything but basketball. Brian Anderson, feel you. He didn't have much of a voice left. His voice, he was trying to tough it out. He kept trying to bring it all back together. It was terrible. There's a reason Barkley's a studio host and not behind the mic during a game. He was asking about college basketball rules during the game. Vitale made it into a game that was all it was a cancer infomercial. Look, I appreciate his battle. I'm glad he beat it. It's awesome. It's a great story. But he kept talking about people that had passed away. I mean, it's just not off to a great start coverage-wise. I'm guessing we're getting that same guy back tonight for the first game. The Cup. I mean, who started calling it a cup thinking it was cool? Prairie View Lehigh, I'm guessing he'll have that one. And then Miami, Ohio, SMU. SMU, 6.5-point favorites. Lehigh, 3.5-point favorites. If you're into that kind of wagering type of thing. There's I saw an article that they're anticipating this will be the most bet on NCAA tournament ever. Yay! The NCAA has a new mechanism. They're watching the officials. This is a story that's kind of gotten buried. But a couple weeks ago, they revealed that they're going to have online bird watchers for officials. They have to go through certain tests. And the reason they did that is because they have found out that college basketball officials have been cheating. And they haven't announced that yet. But there's no way that they're just all of a sudden making that announcement unless they found something. So when's that going to come out? Still waiting on the NBA investigation. Where's all that gone? From Frank's watchful eye in Blacksburg, where he built the Hokies football fame, do you think Franklin will ever find BT football help their A game? BDST is live and online. All right, spring practice gets underway today. Damien Sordelette will join us. We'll kind of give a preview of that. David Teel and then Mike McGuire. Kion Brown here whenever he can jump on. We're going to break down the bracket, see who he's got going to the Final Four. He's in our BDST Pick'em League. Get in there. If you want it, send it to me on the text line 391-0788. I'll copy and paste it and send it to you that way if you want to get in. But it's a lot of fun if we're all in there together. I know many of us are. What is this, by the way? They have a thing now, create a virtual bracket. Do you want us to pick your bracket for you? No. It's how lazy we've gotten because of social media. There you go. I just went to X, refreshed, and the first 6 posts are about how bad the Barkley Vitale broadcast was last night. Looking at some of the comments. It was really bad. Hate it for Brian Anderson. I hate that. Yeah, Barkley ripping the ACC every 5 seconds. Yeah. I mean, look, you appreciate how good Charles is in the studio, Dick Vitale's longevity, and his battle. But putting them on there together ended up being a disaster. An absolute disaster. Yeah, Morris, how did you fix that? Yeah, quit bringing NBA guys. Exactly. For me, this 100%. They don't. There were years Barkley would sit in the studio and say, I don't know anything about college basketball. Okay, then why are you there? But the first 4 still has that vibe to it, and I hate that that's likely going to be gone forever after this year. First 4 is very special, you know. It always will be for Radford. And I was really happy for the Howard kids, and I was really happy for Kenny Blakeney, who's a terrific dude, man. He's been on the show a lot. I know he's going to be covered up with media requests now. It's the first team to move and win, but Moore says no idea. It miraculously just started working yesterday. Probably restless nights of sincere and dedicated prayer. Want to thank Lawson's Mobile Home Supply at 301 North Franklin Street, Christiansburg. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. NRV Super Bowl, 540-382-5525. They're going to be doing lots of stuff centered around the NCAA tournament. I know on that Monday night they're going to have a big, like they did the Super Bowl. They'll have a special if you want to get out there and just roll the balls against the pins during the game. Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, thanks to him for all of his assistance. Sundown Electric is our newest sponsor. Excellent reputation. They have a long list of satisfied clients. All they talk about is the superior craftsmanship, the attention to detail, the honesty and integrity. In other words, everything you want in a business. They're keeping it together. The Smith brothers, what their dad started, and they have taken it to absolute phenomenal heights. So thanks to them for their support and for all they do for their community and helping people. ReadySetFund.com. Speaking of helping people, Bob Chris, CRIST11 at Gmail. Send him an email, ReadySetFund.com, and that is how you can raise money for your team, your organization, whatever it might be. Floyd County girls raised $4,300 in the span of 5 days. Broke a record. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line, residential, commercial garage doors, family owned and operated for 38 years. They are the absolute best, right across from New River Community College. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program and of me, Rick Watson, for 35 years. Never had a complaint with National Bank. If you're frustrated with your bank, I'm telling you, you should give them a call. You should go check them out. Great people. The attorney, Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning, sponsor of our fan question of the week. And Ryan, I had someone yesterday contact me. They're going to come see you very soon. He's looking to get a trust going. And I said, well, I know the guy. And that's how this works. You support the program and you get supported, right? But the question is going to be the biggest upset that you think, and we'll have that announcement. Heck, that's tomorrow because it's Thursday. And we've gotten some interesting responses. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. That's Charles Lee, 540-553-2971. Heating or air or cool air, whatever it might be. Get your unit serviced. Do that regularly and call these guys, please. You won't get hassled. Wait till you see the bill. You're going to be like, wow, that's very fair. That's what they do. Charles got out of it because he didn't like the way the business was trending. He saw markups. I mean, I talked to him about it. Talked to one of his guys about it. He got frustrated. He was in the business before and didn't like what was happening. So he's doing it his own way, and he's taking care of the community like he wanted to be taken care of as a customer. So do not hesitate. Get a hold of Little River Heating and Air. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. The racing starts this weekend, and Stacy Compton will be on Friday. We're going to talk all about it. IHRA, just the first thing that we are exploding onto, thanks to all the great work of Jonathan and Tim at Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Look into what they're doing. Support all the things. They're going to bring so much to this area, and it's so much fun. And we're going to have Stacy on Friday. Talked to him yesterday. He's leading the way, man, at the new Speedway. I mean, it's the same Speedway, but, you know, new and improved. New and improved. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green. Every day we come in, we're surrounded by family fencing, if not literally, but, you know, in our minds. And Mark Hunley over on 155 Walters Drive, right off of Pepper Spray Road, McClellan Chiropractic. If you've got back issues, hey, Travis Williams, one of our sponsors, Professional Door, goes to see Mark now regularly. Mark will take care of you in every way. In every way. this thing wasn't fixed, I may have needed a trip to St. Albans. Just fly me over the coach. Major League Baseball should not be expanding anywhere because it's a disaster of a business right now. It's like the NBA. I keep seeing how they're going to expand. Why? You think more teams is going to help that god-awful league? What are they going to do? Water down the level of players who want to have load management even more? You're going to bring in – I mean, what are we doing? Just move teams. Major League Baseball should move teams. But no, I don't think Nashville could support a team. Portland, I mean, you already have the Mariners up there in that area in the Northwest. I don't think we should have any expansion of leagues. Not anymore. Let's just stop. If anything, you need to take teams out of the NBA. You could lose 6 or 7 teams out of the NBA and nobody would even notice. Now, the owners are always going to want expansion because they get that guaranteed stadium commitments coming in, right? The money flow coming in. But I can't imagine anything worse than baseball, Major League Baseball expanding more when they can't even keep their product worth a damn right now with what they have. I mean, baseball is getting ready to go into a year-long stoppage after 2026. Why in the world would they look to expand? They don't even have a salary cap or a salary floor left. What are we doing? Where are you going to find enough quality players? You already don't have enough pitching. So, yeah. Yes, Vic. Yes, they should. They should have had one a long time ago. It's destroyed the game. What the Dodgers are allowed to do, and it's Rob Manfred, not the Dodgers, it's Rob Manfred, has destroyed baseball. But more teams is not going to solve anything. Who wants to see more crappy NBA teams in cities that may or may not support it? Is the league really that popular? No, it's not. Ratings continue to plummet. I see that they're in week-to-week lows now on their new services. Nobody's watching that crap because it's a horrible league. Because the guys who play it care more about their lifestyle than they do the game. We don't need more teams that, as examples of that. Take away some teams. Take away some franchises. Maybe that would make it better. $16-team leagues. The only team that can support the only league that can support the idea of more expansion is the NFL. Oh, they would love it, Prometheus. Oh, my God. Roger Goodell, if they got a team in London, oh, my goodness gracious. TLB says I had great memories of when NRB Speedway was a dirt track. We parked in the hillside to watch. It's going to be awesome, man. Y'all got to get out there. We're going to try to get out there at the show. May have special episodes, not mornings, obviously, because they're not racing in the dark. But does anyone on this podcast watch the NBA? I stopped years ago one time. Hey, yeah, Chris Lester's watching the Hornets. You're a very brave man. No, it's been a long time for me. Been a long time for me. Long time. Long time. We need expansion in the thrilling sport of curling. Yes, we do. We should do that. Yeah, but we don't need any more NBA teams. We don't need extra teams. Well, I'm glad you like it, Chris. There's one. There's one person who likes NBA. Should there be a maximum age limit? Of course there should be. This is ridiculous to have guys 26, 27 years old. Hey, look, posting how many points guys are scoring in the NBA is not a flex. Not in today's, not when that league allows what happened with Bam in his 83. It's not a flex to score 30 points in the NBA nowadays. But yeah, there should be an age limit. It's ridiculous. These guys are trying to get more eligibility because that's how they're going to have their big payday as opposed to the NFL. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. The whole NCAA is turned into a laughable commodity. And it's going to bring down college football. College football will fall before college basketball. And it's coming. It's coming. And then maybe after that, finally, there'll be somebody that will just say, what can we do? How can we save us from ourselves? We'll see. And maybe that's what has to happen. It has to hit rock. Most of the time before there's correction, you have to hit rock bottom. Maybe that's what needs to happen in college football. We just need to hit rock bottom, and then finally people will recognize and start to fix it. College football players want to play another year, yet men's basketball teams are declining more play. It's true. Except the players don't care who they play for, right? They're not necessarily saying, hey, we're going to stay at our school. They just want another year because they know they could get a deal to play. But then you have guys who are getting paid who don't want to play. You're right. This all goes back to the question that I've seen popped up in other places. How much are you the fan? How much am I the fan? How much are we going to continue to absorb and accept? If you're giving money to Tech, I know you probably are full in this year because of Franklin, but I mean, how long is this thing going to continue to be something you're going to make sure you budget for? And I think that's a question for fan bases across the country at this point. I'm not even sure if what we're being told is the truth about the money. I really don't know. When we find out that certain money is, they show you the books, how much money they're losing, and you find out they have all those billions in the reserve that they can tap into. What's true and what's fiction? I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Rutgers can show us their books to where they've lost $500 million. They're running in a negative of $500 million, but yet I don't know how many people were let go. I mean, I know they were looking into letting people go. Are they trying to fix it? Are they just going to continue to do that? How can you be in the Big Ten and get all that television money and be at minus, $553 million? How? I don't understand that. Is that real? I don't know. Hell, we're lied to all the time. By the media, we're lied to by the organizations, the schools, we're lied to by, you name it, we're lied to. So I don't know what's real and what's not anymore with these numbers that they show. I don't know who's losing what. And is it just because they're trying to tell you they're losing money so they can keep money for themselves? I don't know. Tell you they're losing money? Hey! Hey, I heard me there. That was kind of wild.
What's up, buddy?
How are you doing, brother?
I'm great. I can't complain about it. I think it's the best time of the year, man.
Hey, you know what? Last night, and you probably feel the same thing, just because it's Radford and what we did there, and it's just a special place to watch the first four. It's where we got our win. And I was thinking about those Howard kids, KB, right? They jumped on the plane, on the chartered plane. I can see them all stretched back, having their food, going to, go play Michigan. I mean, it had to be and Kenny Blatney, who just a great dude who's done it a long time. Really happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I was telling my mom about that yesterday. She was like, how, and I love telling this story. She was like, how did they I wonder if they treat Howard like they treated Texas and NC State. I said you should listen to Rick Watson a little more because he told you about the experience that Radford had when they played LIU, and then UCLA was right up after them. And he treated them the same.
Exact same. We were treated like we were, whomever was the hot team. Villanova. We could have been Villanova that year in that building. We wouldn't have been treated any differently.
That's amazing. I love that.
So those Howard kids feel that way this morning. Well, they're asleep right now, but
yeah, man. Coach Blakeney. You talk about Coach Blakeney winning 3 out of the last 4 MEAC tournaments. I think he's the guy that's going to be in contention for a much better job. And I'm predicting that he's going to leave. And there's a guy that used to coach me at Radford that's available that used to play for Howard. I'm just putting that out there, though, but let's not go too far in that.
I texted him last night.
Yeah.
I said, hey, go Bison. he sent me a nice meme. But, yeah. Well, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Coach Blakeney. He's been on the show a lot. And we used to play up there, and he was always very accommodating. Great.
Yeah, when we played up there when I was there.
Yep.
We beat him in double overtime. Not to brag on myself, but I was the guy who hit the free throws.
You did.
Because
that was a hell of a game.
Oh man, that was a great game. And
that was
one at the buzzer.
That was one of the best games I've ever called.
That was a great one. That was a good one.
Yeah. But Coach Blakeney is one of those guys that gives you hope.
Yeah.
For college sport because he's got the right everything because he's done it long enough.
Yeah.
He's a throwback, man. Love that guy. All right, well, we're here, man. Everybody's it's funny. I've had so many people. I didn't bug you with it, but hey, when's Kion? He's going to go through his bracket. I said, well, yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
So look, you want to get it started? You want to go to the East? Let's go to the East.
Mine on. Let's go to the East.
Let's go to the East here.
Yeah, man. Right. Duke and Siena. We already know who's going to win that one.
We already know. Yeah, we already know.
Ohio State TCU's. Now, this one, there's no such thing as an 8-9 upset. No such thing.
Nope.
There's not. But I got Ohio State winning. Ohio State was the much more explosive offense during the season. At one point, they were really good. I think they'll pull it out. Kansas, obviously, is winning that one. Don't have them going too far, though. Now, this is one where I might have my first upset because there's no Michael Brown. Louisville will lose to South Florida. That's who I got.
I picked it, too. I did.
No Michael Brown. I just don't trust him.
I don't either.
Michigan State, North Dakota State. This is the time where Coach Izzo just runs through. He's always a second weekend guy. That won't change here. UCLA, your Bruins and UCF. A lot of people are like UCF, and I can understand why, but I like UCLA. I really do.
I went against them because I don't know if they're healthy.
Yeah.
They got, Donovan.
I do have the right to change my vote later.
Correct. Until noon tomorrow. You do.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to look at all of this, all of the health reports and all of the injury reports. We have to wait for that because that is a fair point that you just made. Next one, who we got? UConn and Furman. Love you, Coach Bob Ritchie, what you did.
I know.
But it's over for you, buddy. I'm sorry.
That's the way I felt. I love that team. I picked them the year they beat UVA, but not this year.
Yep. Then you got Florida and Perryview versus Lehigh. Come on now. Florida's got the best front court in the country.
Come on now.
Clemson and Iowa. Give me Clemson. I got to go with the Clemson Tigers. Vanderbilt and McNeese. A lot of people like McNeese here. A lot of people do. Coach Bill Armstrong has done a great job, especially after Will Wade left. Give me Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has Duke Miles on there from High Point. You remember? He's still playing.
I know. He's 29 years old, but he's still playing.
Like, come on now. Nebraska and Troy. Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament. That changes this year. I like Troy, though. I love them. All right, this next one is near and dear to my heart. It's a team that I wasn't high on all season long versus my hometown team, the North Carolina Tar Heels and Hubert Davis at VCU. Now, this is sexy. This is the quote-unquote sexy upset pick, and rightfully so. No Caleb Wilson. I'm going to take the VCU Rams.
Me too.
I'm a Richmond guy. Got to go with VCU. I just think they get hot. They've been playing excellent basketball in the Atlantic tournament to close the season out. Their only kryptonite was St. Louis this season, but they've done really well other than that, including the slaughtering of Virginia Tech earlier this season. I know you remember that.
Yep.
Illinois and Penn. Give me Illinois, the Fighting Illini. Texas A&M and St. Mary's. You picked St. Mary's.
I did.
I'm picking Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M wins. Houston and Idaho. You got Coach Kellen Sampson in that defense traveling. Good luck, Idaho. Back to the potatoes. Arizona and Long Island. Give me the Arizona Wildcats. Villanova, Utah State. I picked Utah State for this one. A lot of folks like Villanova. Give me Utah State. This is another trendy upset pick. Teams that you saw twice this year, Mr. Rick Watson, Wisconsin and High Point. I like Wisconsin. I don't like Wisconsin like the rest of the. I don't like High Point like the rest of the world does.
See, I agree.
This was last year's High Point team.
Yes.
This team is not better than last year's High Point team.
No, they're not. They're not.
They're just not. Arkansas and Hawaii. You got Coach Calipari. Acuff might be playing the best basketball in the country. Give me Arkansas. Wouldn't be surprised if Hawaii beat Arkansas. We know how Coach Cal does in March.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Right? BYU and Texas. I know you like Texas, and they just beat NC State yesterday, but BYU has who I believe is the number 1 pick in the draft, AJ DeBonza. Gonzaga, Kennesaw State. Give me the Zags. Miami and Missouri. Give me Miami. They've done an excellent job.
That's going to be a sneaky good game. I think that could be one of the best games for fans to watch of the first round.
For sure.
Miami, Missouri.
Yeah, man. Purdue and Queens. Give me Purdue. Braden Smith is going to be too much. Michigan and Howard. Howard, it was fun while it lasted. Enjoy the next few days. That's all I'll say. Exactly. Georgia and St. Louis. This is another pick that most people, are picking St. Louis. St. Louis has played awful basketball to end the season. While they were so hot to start the season, I think they were like 25-1 or something. They ended the season 4-4. Josh Scherz just signed an extension. Luckily for him, they made the tournament because there used to be a time where the committee would look at how you ended a season versus your whole, how their season went throughout the year. But at the end of the day, they thought they were good enough. I think they're good enough, but I think they're good enough to lose in the first round. Akron and Texas Tech, another trendy pick. Akron was the team that I said would win the MAC.
You're good.
I didn't think it would be Miami, Ohio, and those guys ended up losing to UMass in the first round. Give me Akron.
There's always one. There's always 1-12-5. Always.
Yep. And then Alabama Hofstra. I like Bama. I know you're.
I love Hofstra though. I picked Bama, but I bet you that's a close game.
Yeah. Okay. I like Bama though, but. You might need to change that one. We saw the second leading scorer get busted for all that yesterday. He's not playing. That could change everything. I like Tennessee to beat SMU. Miami, Ohio is going to lose tonight. Virginia and Wright State give me UVA. Kentucky and Santa Clara. That's another trendy upset pick, but I'm going to trust Kentucky on this. Even though I haven't been high on them all season, I think Kentucky pulls it off. And then Iowa State, Tennessee State. Give me Iowa State. Now to go off to the next round of 32, Duke over Ohio State, St. John's over Kansas. Love Rick Pitino. He's the best coach in the business.
He is.
South Florida and Michigan State, give me Michigan State. UCLA, UConn, sorry for your Bruins. UConn wins it. Florida and Clemson, give me the Florida Gators in the best front court in the nation. Vanderbilt and Nebraska. I think that Vanderbilt goes to the Sweet 16. Is Vanderbilt a sports school now?
They might be. They might be. Yeah.
VCU and Illinois. Give me Illinois. Sorry, VCU. Texas A&M and Houston. I take Kellen Sampson. I trust that defense, even though they can have a spotty offense. Arizona and Utah State. Give me the Cats. Wisconsin, Arkansas. I'm going to take the Razorback.
Ooh, I know.
That next round, I like Gonzaga to advance. We're going to see, though. Purdue and Miami. Give me Purdue. Michigan, Georgia, give me Michigan. Alabama and Akron, it ends for Akron. Give me Bama to advance. But I think that's one I'm going to change after the news we got yesterday.
I know.
You just have to. You have to be smart. Tennessee and Virginia, give me UVA and Coach Oldham, that fine job he did in year one. Iowa State and Kentucky, give me Iowa State. Iowa State and UVA starting from the bottom up now. Iowa State and UVA, give me the Cyclones. Michigan advances and beats Bama. Purdue advances to another Elite Eight. Arizona beats Arkansas and Darius Acuff. Illinois and Houston. I like the fight in the line. I think it ends for Kellen.
Oh, wow. Big Ten going further.
Yeah, man. Florida and Vandy, give me Florida Gators. Michigan State and UConn, give me Tom Izzo. Duke and St. John. That was the toughest pick I had all.
I know.
I'm so torn right now between that one because St. John's is a team that nobody wants to see. If Duke isn't 100%, I can clearly see those guys losing there. But for right now, I'm going to take Duke. So then you got Duke and Michigan State, another rematch of a few years ago in Washington, D.C. That's where they're playing again in Capital One Arena. But I'm going to go with Duke right here. Florida, Illinois, give me Florida, Arizona over Purdue, and Michigan over Iowa State. Whew. Here we go. Duke and Florida. I think oh man, this is so crazy to think about. Duke and Florida right now. Give me Duke. They've been. I saw the interview that you had last week with Coach Donnie Lynn. He was talking about how Duke was. He's an analytics nerd, and they've been number one. 2 of your guys are out. They're 2 of your top guys, but I still trust the other guys right now. But it's just tough. Give me Duke over Florida, Arizona over Michigan, but my national championship game is Duke versus Arizona, and the Arizona Wildcats cut down the nets. A team
wow.
West Coast hasn't won in forever. I think that changes this year.
So you got Arizona winning it all. I think
Wildcats winning it all.
They are the 2 best teams, aren't they? I mean, that's Duke and Arizona are the 2 best teams in the country.
Now, if Duke was healthy, I'd go Duke.
Well, how's it looking for everybody coming back? I heard the
guard. I don't think
if he was hurt as bad as they said, how could he come back? But they're acting like they're going to be full throttle. I don't.
Oh,
PR,
man.
just PR.
Probably so. It's just no way. I just don't see it. I just don't. It's going to be a fun bracket, though. I think you're going to see more upsets this season, especially than we saw last year.
That's what I was going to ask you. I hope so. It was chalk and all the number ones win. It didn't feel the same last year.
It didn't feel the same, but at the same time, that was a one-off. It's never that way. It just happened to be that way last year. You knew eventually it would come.
Yeah.
Though. This year it changes. You're going to get back or some of the VCUs advancing.
Yeah. Well, see, you were on this 3 or 4 years ago about because you looked ahead to see how this was going to go. I'll never forget you talking about how, basketball is not going to be affected negatively by the portal.
Yeah.
What it's going to do, it's going to help mid-majors, and it has. It's done. Mm-hmm. And so you would think in the tournament more of these mid-majors would be, ready to move on. And then last year we saw it reverse. It was just strange last year.
It was strange. The only thing that, and you talked about it today, actually, the age differentiation, that thing plays a major role. They got to put a bow on that somehow, some way. Guys can't be 28, 29, 30 playing college basketball, playing college football. That is ridiculous. Guys trying to squeeze all of the juice out of that orange as much as possible. I get it. You're trying to get paid. But we cannot have grown men on, AARP and, with retirement plans playing college sports. You just can't have it. We can't.
No, it's ridiculous. It seems like it's going to be more of a trend in football than basketball.
Yeah.
But, that's what it seems like. A lot of people want me to ask your thoughts. I don't believe I've talked to you since Virginia Tech opted out of the NIT. Mike Young said he'd never do that. And, of course, they did that. And, my goodness, man, people are acting like not going to the NIT is not taking a chance to play in the championship game of the NCAA tournament. Everybody seems to be criticizing, or most people criticizing Mike Young of Virginia Tech. What do you think?
I criticize it too. We talk about it all the time. Every year somebody opts out. For what? It's basketball. Your kids are going to go play pickup against each other next week. I promise you. When I was at Radford, I would drive to Virginia Tech to play pickup basketball with them. They're going to play. It just is what it is. Let those guys play and have fun, man. That's what sports is about. A lot of those guys' career are going to end once their last college game is over. So you need to play as much as possible. Everybody can't be a pro. These guys are going to be regular citizens of America. You're going to have guys like me who are teachers. You're going to have guys who are therapists, guys who are doctors, whatever the case may be. You have to take advantage of every opportunity to play that you possibly can. That's how I look at it. If guys are competitors, they just want to hoop. When we were as good as we were at Radford, winning 20 games back to back to back, I loved going to the CBI. We went back to back. Yeah. I loved it. I loved flying all the way to the West Coast of Oregon State. Beating
that ass.
Flying back over here and then playing ODU. And then we got our ass beat. But it was fun, to keep playing. Then the next year, we got to play at Vermont. That experience. You always heard about a road game at Vermont. And then there's nobody in the arena. And then with 10 minutes left on the clock, the whole town just comes into the arena. It's sold out.
It was. Yeah.
Like the Northeastern Conference championship game.
Man.
Play basketball as much as you possibly can. What does it hurt? The guys are going to enter the transfer portal after the season anyway.
Well, they announced they let the team decide. Then I've heard from like 4 Tech people that said that's not what happened.
You let the team decide and guys say they don't want to play. Those are the guys that I don't want on my team. Because if you want to play basketball, you just want to hoop. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Blacksburg. Every day I hear something. You're like, really?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
So I don't know. Well, it's going to be fun. I hope it ends up being this great thing. So what do you do tomorrow? Like, you're teaching your class. We get underway at 12:15, and you're sitting there, and you're like, I don't really want to be teaching y'all. Let's go play.
So what I usually do is, Coach Lynn said this last week. He was like, the days of the teacher rolling the TV in and putting the tournament on are long gone. It's not true, Coach Lynn. You're looking at a guy who has the games on all day at school. But tomorrow might be a little different. I'm thinking about it's called a quarter day. I can take a quarter day off, and I get off. My half day is over at 10:30. That's how early we go to school.
Wow.
So if I take that quarter day, the first game tips off noon-ish. Yeah, I'll be back home cleaning, watching the game. That's what I plan on doing right now.
Yeah, how can you focus on the kids if you're? I mean, come on, you're not. I mean, you're right. You're already, and you're going to have every game pops up. You're going to have all 4 of them on.
All right, Michael Jordan has plenty of memes, but when it comes to them kids, I'm gonna think of that one meme. Can't say it on here. I'm gonna let you guys think about that when it comes to NCAA tournament basketball.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't let that go over your head, please.
No, I understand.
If you don't get it, text me. If you don't get it, DM me. I'll send you the meme.
The thing about it, that's part of the educational value of young people. This is very, very important. Watch this tournament. Watch how people occupy.
We watched the ACC tournament last week. We watched the Big South tournament. We watched the Big 12 tournament in classes. Every year it doesn't change with me. And I tell the administration, this is a real thing. I tell them, if you don't like it, let me know. I'll take off. I told them that.
Well, I don't blame you. Thing. Well, you know what? Because you have such young kids, right? And you have so many diverse personalities. They need to understand, okay, this is fun. This is what makes life fun. Yeah. Having this tournament is important. It's an aspect of your learning. So I get it.
When I was teaching elementary school, the kids really didn't care that much. Now I'm in high school, and they can appreciate it because they all think they can play. They all think they're good. And then when they see guys actually on the screen that actually can play while they're getting money, they're like, "Oh, I want to play college basketball. I want to get $1 million." Like, good luck, buddy.
All right, so I got Tim says, ask Keon one question before he goes. Keon, if there's one team that you did not pick to make the Final Four that does make the Final Four, it wouldn't surprise you. That's a good question.
That is a great question. Off the top of my head, to start the season, I thought this team would be hot. They didn't have the season that I thought that they would to start, but to end it, they were just hot. St. John's. Give me Rick Pitino. That's what it is, man. I still think I might change that. The way that they've been playing, the way they blew out UConn, back-to-back Big East champs. Last year, they were right there. He made a boneheaded decision to bench his first-team All-American guard, and I think that's a mistake that he made. He probably won't admit that because he's Rick Pitino, but there's a team that no team in the country wants to play. It's for sure St. John's, for sure, not even close. And then you probably got to follow up that with Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Both of those teams could end up playing Duke and could end up eliminating Duke.
Yeah, you're right about Izzo. It's time and tested, man. It's just like death and taxes. It's Tom Izzo and March Madness. Just get out of the way. It doesn't matter how they've been playing down the stretch.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't matter. They're going to play well in this tournament. They always do. So, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be thinking about you. You may get some texts from time to time as we're watching these games. We'll see what happens. Will there be a mega upset tomorrow? We'll see. I'm sure there's got to be at least one, right?
Well, VCU's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
I like VCU. I really do. I like the Rams. I like Coach Martelli Jr. and what he's done. A lot of coaches VCU has a, musical chair of coaches. Guys, they always make the right pick. The right guys always end up in Richmond, but none of them win the A-10 tournament their first year. He's done that. So VCU's won 3 out of the last 4. You got to think that VCU might be on a Butler trajectory and say, while Butler was in the horizon, VCU's in A-10, might have to make a move up to like the Big East or something. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Well,
I really wouldn't.
You're right. It started before Shaka. Shaka put it at its peak. I mean, Coach Rhodes kept it going. There's a culture at VCU basketball. You're exactly right. It's not just whoever the coach is. That's a program. That's a real program.
You go from Jeff Capel to Anthony Grant, and then Eric Maynard hit that shot against Duke, Josh McRoberts. And I think Shire was on that team, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say so, yeah.
No, Greg Paulus was the point guard. Nope, it was Greg
Paulus, that's right.
He was the point guard. And then you go from Anthony Grant to Shaka Smart, from Shaka Smart to Will Wade, from Will Wade to Mike Rose, from Mike Rose to Coach Odom, from Coach Odom to Phil Martelli Jr. Come on now.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's one of the most desirable non-P4 jobs in the country.
It is, but
right?
I will say this: every time somebody leaves, they don't do well at their next destination. They end up getting fired.
True.
So you talk about Jeff Capel, he goes to Oklahoma, loses. He has Blake Griffin. You talk about Anthony Grant, he goes to Alabama. They get him out of there. You talk about Shaka Smart. After that Radford loss, they were like, hold on now. Is this our guy? Oh, no. He ends up out of Texas. And then Will Wade had some success at LSU, but all of the other stuff came out that's now legal. He came out with the term. NIL stands for now it's legal. He's good. He should still be at LSU. And then Mike Rose not doing the greatest at Penn State. That's a tough job. It really is. Now, Coach Odom, that's a different story. And what he's done at UVA, turning it around. Phil Martelli Jr. can stay at VCU and build that program up and stay there and be like, what Mark Few is at Gonzaga. I don't see why people don't do that. It's a great place to be. They focus on basketball. They support you with NIL. The community loves you. It's always sold out. If I'm a guy and I want to be at VCU, I stay there and just be the man there. That's just me, though.
Yeah, we got two coaches fired. We got Coach Robinson fired at Oregon State.
Yep.
I remember people sitting. Remember all those rich donors?
Yeah.
First of all, they didn't know where Radford was. Where's Radford?
Yep.
And then afterwards, I never forget, a rich older gentleman shook my hand as I was packing up. Thank you. What are you thanking me for? Well, now we know we're going to have a new head coach. And then sure enough, the next day.
The next day. I mean, it was crazy.
And the Shaka at Texas, Mike always feels bad. Shaka joked about it during the Hall of Fame interview.
Yeah.
He never recovered when Radford beat Texas.
He did not. Not at all. And Radford just played an explosive offensive game. But that Craig Robinson one was crazy. I was telling all my teammates, I was like, you guys need to pay more attention in class. That's Michelle Obama's brother.
Exactly. Right. And he was.
I said, so he'll be all right, though.
He was fine. He's fine. Okay. That was the Yaya Anderson game.
Yep. Yaya had a great game. Wu had a great game. I had a great game. It was one of those games where we couldn't miss. And I had to start because Brandon got hurt his foot like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just destroyed them.
And that was a great year because we were one of those teams that year that you'll see in the NCAA tournament. You'll see the stack come up. They'll say 8 guys score at least 7 points a game. We were that team.
That's right.
8 guys between 7 and 14, 15 points, which made us really tough to beat and tough to guard.
We were up by like almost 30 in that game.
Oh, yeah, we were crushing them.
It was great. That was great. All right, brother. Well, listen, have a great day, and good luck tomorrow being able to take your quarter day to enjoy the game.
Can't wait. My quarter day for me is 11:15. It's so crazy to think about that. Like, most people are just settling into work. That's my half day. 10 days.
That's right, because you're already up and been in school.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, though.
All right, man. Enjoy. I know you will.
Yeah, man. All right, buddy.
All right, good luck with your picks.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Kion Brown, our basketball correspondent. Awesome. Good stuff. It's pretty good. He ran through it pretty quickly there. He's got Arizona beating Duke in the final. Hey, whatever your picks are is great. I've only won one money pool ever, and I won another one that was just kind of like family that I usually don't – my bracket usually doesn't last too long. So there's no wrong answer for me, whoever you pick. Okay, that's great. Whoever your Final Four is, you probably have a better shot than I do. Join our tournament bracket, though. Hey, I see you. What's going on, Mr. Vic? DV, you need to jump into our BDST tournament challenge through ESPN Big Dog, DAWG Sports Talk. You have until noon tomorrow. Wayne, if you haven't picked them yet, noon tomorrow is the deadline. I wasn't sure if it was 11 or noon, but it's noon. So jump in and fill out your bracket and get ready to rock and roll. We're going to be joined by Damien Sordelette here in a moment. We'll talk Tech Spring football gets underway today. Some storylines he's going to be looking for. David Teel talk specifically about the front runners in the ACC, how he looks at the brackets. And then Mike McGuire talk Radford women's basketball. Of course, we had the ladies on yesterday. Thank you for all the great comments on the Professional Door text line. As Joy and Ellie joined us, and they're really well-spoken, do a great job. I don't know what it is, but when you talk to, female athletes, they really put a lot of thought into the answers. It's really refreshing to talk to them. It's great. Yeah, it's a tough draw for Tech. I mean, Oregon. And how many Tech fans are JMU fans? They have Kentucky, right? That's the 5-12 game. And I don't know historically in the women's tournament if the 5-12 matchups have the same type of upset history as on the men's side. I don't know that. DV says Shire was indeed on that team. There you go. There you go. So I don't know how the 12-5 works on the women's side as much as the men's side, but we shall see. That's right. Indiana did spend over $30 million. That's right. He did coach at JMU. He did. over $32 million, did not make the tournament. So again, everybody says, well, they don't have enough money. It's about having money, but it's also spending it wisely. Brent Pry didn't spend it wisely, and Mike Young ended up not spending it wisely with how it turned out. Matthew, I think a lot of people are asking that question right now. I don't know. I feel like he is for one more year at least, but I don't know. Long term, I don't know. I just don't know. The lowest seed to win, is that true, Reed? Wow. So in 40 years of the actual NCAA tournament, because before they weren't NCAA tournament until the early 80s. Is that right? A number 3 seed's the lowest to ever win it? So kind of shows you the higher seeds pretty much control things on the women's side. Yeah, UConn is the best team in the country by far. I think. They didn't play in a great league, but they're rolling people. They didn't lose a game. UConn, South Carolina, UCLA is good. I don't know if they can contend for a national title. We'll see. Texas is really good. All right. Thanks for the info, Reed. And please subscribe to the channel and stop by anytime. That's great. Yeah, Texas is really good. Yeah. And the reason you don't know anything about it is because the coverage went away pretty much when Caitlin Clark left. Let's just say it the way it is. You know, I do kind of remember that. I don't remember the teams, but I remember reading up on it. ODU. Was that Ann Donovan? Was that her name? Yeah. And that was before they were NCAA tournament. It was like AWIA or something like that. Not as much parity at the top. No. Like I expect all those top 4 teams to go a long way in the tournament. Doesn't feel like we talk about a lot of upsets on the women's side. UConn's really good. Nancy Lieberman, thank you. Ann Donovan. Annie Myers was the star at UCLA who actually had a tryout with the Pacers. Remember that? The Pacers. It was kind of just a media thing. They didn't ever think she was going to make the Pacers, but still. She went through all of it. And that's when UCLA won their women's national title before it was an NCAA. An NCAA franchise. So anyway, there we go. But to Tebow's point, you can have a lot of money, but you better shop wisely. And the only way you know if you're shopping wisely is the end result, right? I know hindsight is 20/20, but in the era of pay for play, hindsight is what you base it on. How much did they contribute? How did your team perform? If they didn't contribute well and your team is sitting home in the postseason, you did not spend your money wisely. Yeah, Cheryl Miller, Cynthia Cooper, they were stars. Cynthia Cooper was great. Early on, WNBA was fun. Not what it became. There are many who still argue that Cheryl Miller is the best women's player ever. Yeah. Yeah. Damien Sordelette joining us now from the Roanoke Times. And, hey, spring practice is here. All right, so I saw the schedule release and what they're going to allow the media. Were you happy with that? I couldn't really tell what that meant for you guys.
I'm okay with it. We get all practice on Thursday. No availability afterwards, and Travis has given Andy and I a heads up about how the frequency with which we get to talk to people.
Yeah.
So if we get Franklin every availability, we get an assistant coach, and then we get multiple athletes, I'm okay with it.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I was wondering because I was like, I'll just ask those guys if they were happy with that because I don't know what that really means for them, right? If you get one-on-one stuff. So that's cool. Cool.
And then they did mention if we want any interviews with any assistant coaches or players separate from all that, we'll do it. They are structuring the post-practice interviews differently. You get Franklin at the podium, and then they're going to break out the coach and the athletes. So they'll all be out at the same time, but you get to go sit down and do one-on-ones with them. So if you want to spend more time with one particular player or assistant, you can do that, and it works out. So instead of having everyone come out one by one, you can get these guys individually, and it works out. So I'm okay with that. Good.
Well, that's good to hear. So they've kind of done a 180 on what it initially looked like it was going to be. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. So in the pre-spring practice presser, sounds like running back injuries are something people are focused on. What have you heard about, how bad Hawkins is out and going to be without the kid they brought in from Penn State? What do you think long-term, or is this just all precautionary because it still is the spring?
It's precautionary. Hawkins dealt with a wrist injury last year. He would come to post-practice. He'd come to post-game media availabilities with a stint on. And we saw him over the winter. It looked like it was more of a brace to get that fixed. Hawkins is not officially out for the entirety of spring. He can be back later if he progresses. They're probably cautious with him, though. With a new offense, a new running backs coach, there's only so much Matt Moore can tell you about what Hawkins was like running behind the offensive line. There's only so much Fontel Mines can bring up. There's only so much Brent Pry can bring up. You need to see him. So, as much as I think Hawkins is your RB1 going into the year, you'll just have to see. Mickens, I think this is also precautionary. Plus, you're probably going to redshirt him behind. You got 4 guys ahead of him on the depth chart. So, redshirt him, make sure he's good to go in 27, and just not rush him. So, I think you'll be fine coming once we get to the season.
What are you looking most forward to from what you know about the position battles watching develop? And when you're going to think about who you want to talk to and so forth, what kind of things are you thinking is going to be the kind of most intriguing things to keep an eye on?
QB2, who's going to win that between Baker, Ryan, and Brand? I want to see what the linebacker rotation is going to look like, because does Caleb Spencer stay inside, or does he move over to the Sam and play more outside? I want to see what the safety rotation looks like. If Quentin Reddish is healthy, how does he look back there along with a lot of other guys? So there's a lot that I kind of want to see from a lot of position groups. Those are the ones that stand out. I know defensive line is going to be fine. You got Copeland there as the star coming back, and I think if you put a good cast around him, that line's going to be good. I agree with Prometheus. I want to know who are going to be Mike and Will at the linebacker positions, because this is going back to a Brent Pry defense where the Mike is very valuable in that scheme, and you'll probably have your Sam playing more on the field side, and you'll have your Will playing in the boundary. So yeah.
Well, it's And I think too, for the first spring with this new coaching staff together, it's important. Todd Grantham was talking about that down at UAB, right? They're kind of using that as, first spring down there where you have a new coaching staff. It adds a little more intrigue to it, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. Because the one thing that, I'm interested in seeing tomorrow when we get out there for the entire thing is what are the schemes going to look like? Just to get an idea. This is more of let me get some background. Let me see kind of like what they're doing personnel wise. That's going to be interesting for me to see how all this looks. I agree with Tebow here about the offensive line. Not having Logan Howland available for the entire spring is a big blow, because I think once he signed from transferring from Oklahoma, everyone penciled him in as left tackle 1. So now, is that going to be Johnny Garrett again? Where does Aiden Lynch fit in? Montavious Cunningham looked healthy when I saw him in the weight room a couple weeks ago. Does he factor in there? How healthy does Brody Meadows look after missing all of last year with the Achilles injury? So there'll be a lot of stuff like we want to see. And if that Tech offensive line can go 10 deep, that's a big step up from where they were last year, where once you got past the first 5, there were question marks and uncertainty and freshmen. And it was just,
yeah.
You're treading thin ice there.
It's tough, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, very tough. And I've heard it's so tough to keep linemen healthy. I'm hearing that across the country. It's like they have so many. I've seen, it's happening in Indiana. They got like 3 of their starters. It won't be. It's like so many guys. I guess because you're so big and you're training so hard, you're trying to get your body right. The season hasn't been over very long, right? In reality, and then you're going into it. Those big guys, it takes a while to get everybody on the same page health-wise.
Yeah, and that's why Franklin wants a 3 deep. He wants a starter. He wants a backup who can start, and then he wants a developmental guy who, if the time comes, they can throw him in there and be like, all right, raw, but we're good to go. That's kind of what I want to see. Also, as spring goes on and then we get to training camp, what does the depth chart look like? How have they gotten the depth put together? That's kind of the things I'm interested in to see how this plays out. And again, you can still go into the portal and grab some guys who are still there, even though the portal window is closed. There's some guys out there. So this roster could still have some changes. Guys aren't leaving, but if you need to go pick up a guy, you can. So we'll see how. No, Prometheus, I do not see any freshmen starting on the offensive line. I can see some guys being in that 3rd rotation, but I could see if you're looking at redshirt freshman, Gavin Crawford could be in the 2 deep. And that would be probably the only one. He actually played a lot of snaps last year against ODU and Wofford. So that would be a case, yeah.
Morris asking, are you taking the over-under on 40K? Franklin can't stop talking about it.
I'm saying it's anywhere between 35 and 39.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That's probably fair.
Yeah, and Prometheus, you're right. Getting Montavious Cunningham to come back for another year, getting Brody Meadows back helps, especially inside. So with Altuner, Ganem, Cunningham, Meadows, you're looking much better at the guard center rotation. Tackle was a bit more of a question with Howland being out, but with Garrett, Lynch, yeah, I'm not sure about behind that. That comes a bit of a question, but I think with Terry, the Ohio State transfer, and Bell, the Michigan State transfer, I think they should factor in, which brings you a little bit more comfort than you were a year ago.
And I know he's the starter, but I want to see how Grunkmeyer handles the spring. Not necessarily developing as a physical player, but I want to see how he's expected to be the uncompromised leader of the team, and that's something he's going to have to do now. He had to step in last year, did a good job, obviously at Penn State, but now this is his team. He was brought in, he was paid for this to be his team, and I want to see how that aspect develops. Does this team really get behind him right from the jump? I think that's an important thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. Grunkmeyer as a quarterback, okay, but how about him as a leader? Tech has not had that. Because I'm sorry, Kyron Drones was not that guy. So.
Yeah, he wasn't. Kyron Drones wasn't the vocal leader. I would say Grunkmeyer has a chance, and that's why I'm eager for Thursday to be able to watch the entirety of practice and see how he leads.
Yeah.
So I'm eager for that. It goes back to something when I had to sit down with Danny O'Brien a couple of weeks ago. He said whenever a quarterback steps on campus, he wants them to prepare like a starter, which is why Grunkmeyer was able to come in and play immediately when Drew Aller went down. And Grant Grunkmeyer was a redshirt freshman and had, I think it was 5 games of experience, all mop-up duty, but he had gotten in 5 games. So when your first game is against Iowa, top 10 defense. Ohio State, top 10 defense. Indiana, you nearly beat them.
Right.
So, plus when you have Ty Howell and you have O'Brien and you have that continuity in terms of who your coaches are, I think that's going to allow Grunk to be more of a leader. And again, Prometheus is right. Aiden Green's been a leader for the offense. So Grunk might not have to be that vocal guy early on because Green's going to have it. But I think as you get closer to the season, you're going to need him to step up and be that leader. And
it needs to be your quarterback, right? It needs to be the quarterback.
Oh yeah. Kelvin Gilliam was a team leader last year. I don't know if it has the impact of a Dax because Dax being the Mike as your QB of your defense had more of a say, but I think Gilliam probably handed the baton to Kamari Copeland in that role. So from a leadership standpoint with Aiden Green and Copeland, you get a guy, Green's going into his 4th year with the program. Copeland's going to be in his 3rd year with the program. I don't know if you could pick 2 better leaders on this team for Franklin's first year.
Well, let's hope that part develops. I think that's underrated. I know it's the day of pay for play and all that, but that's important. With the team that's at hand on the field heading into a new season, you still have to have that aspect develop regardless of the environment around how rosters are put together.
Yeah.
Right? It's so important. So important.
Yeah.
So we'll see. How's the vibe around there? I mean, I know around football, the coaches are excited, but how's the vibe around there with the start of the Franklin era?
Oh yeah, there's some excitement in Blacksburg. And I asked Nick Perry this, and he's like, he's like, yeah, I've gotten this good vibe since I've been here. It's like there's a new football coaching staff in town. There's a different feel for it, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how, again, the question about the spring game attendance. Wayne brings up a great point. Weather's going to factor into how many people are there. But again, if you can get that place close to filled or around 40K, that's a good sign that there's some good energy going around in Blacksburg. And since you're not losing anyone to the second portal window, you can say this is the team we're going to have coming. You're going to have what you see here in the spring game is what you're going to see, opener against VMI. So,
all that momentum is going to be crushed by opening against VMI.
Yeah, and then ODU.
Yeah, all right.
It's if you can win those first 2 and then you can go to and win at Maryland and beat a non-conference Power 4 team for the first time since 2017, that would be a good sign.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that the longest streak in the country? Somebody sent me a graphic. Isn't it the longest streak right now?
I think it's one of them. It has to be
15 straight non-Power 4 games they've lost.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So that needs to change, and that could happen against Maryland.
Very well could.
Could happen against Maryland.
And if that happens, you can say, all right, Franklin's got more wins against non-conference Power 4 teams than Pry had. I mean, Fuente only had, what, 2 of them? If I'm not mistaken. The 2016 Belk Bowl and then the opener against West Virginia.
Is that it?
In 2017? Were those the only 2?
That seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's it. it. And we'll see what happens. Well, the big thing too is just health, right? And you don't know how this staff's going to report if they don't have to, right? If somebody gets hurt, you'll know if you don't see them out there. But every coach will tell you the same thing, right? You got guys who are already hurt. You got to be careful. But boy, you don't want to create more injuries that you have to focus on throughout the summer, right?
Well, I'll say this. It was nice that we got an availability report before Franklin's presser. They actually gave us a piece of paper that said, here are the players who are out for the entirety of spring.
Good.
We didn't get a limited or anything like that, but I'm sure if there comes a player who, was supposed to factor into either starting or be a rotational piece, and all of a sudden he's not out there, hopefully, Franklin comes out and says, hey, he's going to be out for the rest of spring. We want to get him healthy, get him back for the season. So I'm okay with that. I think they're going to be a bit precautious. I did ask Chuck Losey this about how do you handle the workload for these guys, especially when you want to play 16 to 17 games. He said he's taken some notes on how to do it after that 2024 run where Penn State played 16 games. So maybe, he's found a happy medium where there's not as much workload in the spring. So that way those guys are ready to go for camp and ready to go for a long run in the season. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, Notre Dame. The road game at Notre Dame, or Matthew says. That was the other win that they had.
Yeah. That counts as a non-conference Power 4.
Yep. Okay. So now that's everybody. Now we got everybody covered.
Yeah.
But I know it's just tough. You got to get work done. You got to get guys in pads. But, boy, you got to just, it just seems like, especially with all the money that's being spent now, too. Those are investments literally and figuratively now. And if you got any of those big money guys who are out, get hurt, it's going to be something you're going to hear about. Programs will lose guys in the spring. And it never comes up. You never have a clean sheet at the end of spring. Never. So.
Yeah, and that's why I've heard a lot of coaches want to restructure the calendar to where spring is get rid of spring practices. Those are used for conditioning, recovery. Then you have OTAs in the summer.
Yeah, like the NFL.
I've heard 15 practices, no pads, just do install. Because you'll have the entire roster in there because you'll have all of your normal enrollees, your high school guys. So, and then go into the season. So I'll enjoy spring while I can because who knows what the calendar looks like, and we'll see.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and I can't wait to see your coverage and what everybody else is going to do. Who you got in your Final Four, by the way? Have you looked at that? Have you looked at?
So I have Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Houston.
It's fair. What anybody picks, I do so poorly usually every year. I've only won one ever. I don't. I just go. All right, I can see that.
The only bracket I do is my wife and I have. For the last few years we've been doing it, and right now I'm on this winning streak after she beat me the first year because I got really too into it, and then she did her algorithm is I'm going to pick based on team nicknames versus
I know.
And she's like, I've got UNC in the Final Four, and I'm kind of sitting there like, should I tell her about all these injuries and all these people who are out, and the fact that I got VCU beating them in the first round? And I was like, no, I'll pass on that.
Yeah, you should. You should get in our BDST bracket. We got a lot of our contributors that are in there just for fun. So you should jump in there if you want to go through. We got it through ESPN. Yeah,
Okay.
ESPN, Big Dog Sports Talk, DAWG. Just go in there, type it in the group, and put your entry in there. Yeah.
All right.
We got all sorts of people in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I might be able to. I got the app open right now. I might be able to take care of that. So.
Yeah, jump in there, man. That'd be great. But the peeps are demanding it, Damien. You've become a demand of the peeps. So there you go. And by the way, going forward, so I don't bug you every Tuesday, I'm just going to assume you're good for your Wednesday slot until you let me know otherwise. How's that?
Oh, yeah.
I know you're probably like, really? I'm doing it every week, Rick.
I don't mind. I mean,
I just like to be thorough.
The good thing is there's no Wednesday practices during the spring ball. So
that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And we only have one Thursday media availability. That would impact, say, Andy on a Thursday after tomorrow. That would be the Thursday before the spring game. That's when they asked us, would you rather talk to Franklin that Tuesday, or would you rather talk to him the final practice before the spring game? And we're like, final practice before the spring game. Yeah.
One more question before we let you go. That's a good question, just for fun here. Is Franklin going to keep the lunch pail and the 25 thing going? Do we know?
I have no idea. Might be worth asking. See what he says.
Respectfully, I hope they don't. Respectfully, I hope they just kind of let it just some other things develop, right?
I'm okay with the lunch pail because I would like that versus like the championship belt or anything else you do. The lunch pail is synonymous with Virginia Tech.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah.
The 25 jersey, I would say give it to a guy for a season and let him wear it if he's a big special teams guy. Like this year, be like, hey, John Love, you get to wear 25 all year.
There you go. Special teams guy. Yeah.
Do it for an entire season. You don't have to worry about swapping out jerseys every week.
I like that. That.
The way to honor Frank Beamer is have a specialist wear it throughout the season. And I think John Love's earned it. Wayne, they brought that back for the Miami game.
Bring back, stick it in.
They had it back. The band played it.
Are they going to have? They're going to have
none of the students knew what to do with it.
Are they going to put a Mr. Worsham tag on there?
Yeah.
Too? They're going
My
to do
sister
that?
was watching the Miami game on TV, and she texted me. She goes, "Are they playing Stick It In?" And I was like, "Yes, but the students don't know what to do." Because she was a student when they banned it, and all because one donor didn't like the how the students were saying "Stick It In" with the gyrations and all that stuff.
Well, and I hope that, I think a great way to honor Mr. Worsham would just be put his initials on the field all year. It's Worsham Field. It's Worsham Field.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
I think that'd be great. Put a big old logo in the corners or something. Yeah.
You know what? I would go back to the 90s era end zone with the VT Hokies and then put Worsham next to it.
Yeah, something. Yeah, or just something around midfield even or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure out where the corporate logo is going to go.
Correct.
On the field because you need to sell advertising there to bring in revenue.
Right.
You got to figure out what the patches are going to do.
Yeah, helmet sticker would be great too. They need to do something. I hope they make sure they honor that. Correct.
They need to get Wild Turkey as a corporate logo to put on their jersey.
It would just fit. It would look like a new decor for the jersey. Yeah, they could take care of two things at once.
I know. And then for every player who's under the age of 21, sorry, you can't have any of this
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
You can't. You can't wear that until you're 20.
I mean, it would look better than Butterball. So, but yeah, those are a couple things. You gotta get the jersey. You gotta get the sponsorship patches sold. You gotta get you gotta sell the advertisement for for the field.
It's here. It is here. That era has arrived, no doubt.
Yep, it was coming.
It was.
I don't know if I want to go turkey bacon.
No, I don't want turkey bacon. No, let's keep real bacon. Let's don't go crazy here, Wayne. Let's don't go crazy.
Yes, give me the real kind.
All right, brother. Well, enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the week.
All right, and what's the group?
Big Dog Sports Talk. Just the name of the show. DAWG though.
Okay.
And just jump in 4 words and jump in, brother.
All right,
we'll see how we do. All right, man.
46 in there already.
Yeah, well, hey, there we go. Got to get to 50 is always what I look at. 50 is what I always look at. So you're number what, 47?
I'm now 47.
Hey, woo, Damien's in there. Peeps, you got it. The will of the people being heard by Damien Sordelette.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I got my bracket in there already.
All right, so he's in there. DS is in there. Good stuff. All right, man, enjoy the tournament and enjoy spring practice. I know you will. We look forward to your stuff.
All right, I'll talk to you next week.
All right, man, be good. There you go. Damien Sordelette join us. Great stuff from Dave. He's in the league now. See what you did? David Teel next. Ryan Pryor, the attorney, says, frankly, if they are wearing shirts talking about the program being reestablished, then they shouldn't keep those two things. And I think that's how I fall on it. I mean, you're never going to forget either one of them, but one of the complaints from many of you here in chat, professional door text line, I mean, you kept holding on to things from the past. You kept trying to go back. It was one of the mistakes Witt made with the whole hiring of Brent Pry, right? He had a connection to Frank Beamer. Didn't have any experience as a head coach, but thanks, Prometheus. That's awesome. That's cool. I didn't realize I hadn't checked it. So we're up to 47. That's pretty good. Wow. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Got to get that. I got to get that number going. So that's great. Let's get to at least 50. 50 would be. That's yeah. We're at 47. There you go. Big Dog Sports Talk. For those of you asking, sure, I'll share it with you. I picked Duke to win it all. I think they're going to be a little healthier than what KB thinks. They're just really good. Really good. And I watched them play beat up in the ACC tournament. They didn't miss a beat. They're very deep. They spent their money well on that team. So they're really good. We'll see, though. They're I agree with what Tebow said. Like, you could see Arizona winning it. Michigan has been really good all year. I mean, what we don't want as fans is to have 4 number ones like we had last year. That was just like, really? I mean, they were the best teams. They earned it. But, from what we're used to in March Madness, that's what we got. Is there an East Coast bias in sports reporting? Probably. Because out west, they don't care out in Los Angeles. It's the second largest media market, but they don't really care about sports the way the East Coast folks, or the perception of East Coast fans do. Right? You picked NC State, feeling confident they're due for a run? No. Oh, great question, Tebow. Who will beat George Mason this year? Or a VCU or Loyola, all those teams. Yeah, great stories. That's a great question. Probably don't have one. Akron's really good. And that's the 112-5 upset that I picked, by the way. Full disclosure. I picked Akron to win that game. I don't know. I hope somebody develops like that, though, Tebow, Because even if you don't have a team in there, you kind of start pulling for them. And that's why this tournament has been so special, just because of that. You get behind all those teams. And we really didn't have that last year. So I'm hoping that returns this year. We'll see. I'm hoping officiating doesn't get in the way of a great tournament. We saw in both games last night, coaches running out onto the floor, and that's a technical foul. They let it go. Texas hit the shot. Did you see that, by the way? Texas hit the shot. Assistant coach ran all the way on the floor to grab the kid. That's a technical foul. He got chewed out when he got back to the bench. And then it happened at the end of the shot was made by Howard, and they ran out. They were trying to call timeout, but they're all the way out. There's 3 or 4 guys on the floor. And UMBC had inbounded the ball. No timeout was granted. And all of a sudden, the official at midcourt granted the timeout. So UMBC, rightfully so, they were furious because they weren't going to call timeout. Or if they were going to get the ball advanced beyond half court. So it kind of took away the end play they wanted. So then they just had the inbound and just do whatever they could to get a shot off. So I thought the officials affected the outcome of the first game, or at least the last play, I guess I should say it. And when your coaches run out, if you watch the end of the Texas game, it's getting talked about a lot today. That's an automatic technical, and they just kind of went, "Good, ignore it." Well, Santa Clara, sure. I have them winning first-round game. I've seen them play once. They're good. They're good. Sure, tournament should stay the same, Vic. Obviously, I'm going to die on that hill, but because it's going to change next year. But I wish we didn't do anything with it. Last night was fun. Tonight will be fun. Thursday and Friday are the best 2 days I think we have as sports fans left. I'm generally excited for the tournament still. There's not really things that I'm excited about. I didn't give a crap about the Super Bowl this year. College football championship game was kind of like, okay, let's see if Indiana can finish it off with everything going on. But this tournament still embodies that. You get excited. You fill out your bracket. You print it out. You keep up with it. You got your blue pen, then your red pen, which means you miss games. At least that's the way I've always done it. The red pen, the red mark. Maybe your favorite team, your alma mater goes on a run. It's just great. And you get 4 games at once you can put on the screen. They're saying it's going to be the highest betting activity ever. Like last night's game set a record. The 2 games last night set records I saw for activity in Vegas. And that's why the watchdogs are on the officials, right? Let's just say it the way it is. David Teel going to join us, and then Mike McGuire coming up. David was down at the ACC tournament. I got to ask him about his experience there, man. There are a few things that feel more like it has to happen every year, and that's David Teel matched up in the ACC tournament, at the ACC tournament. Yeah, they could, Tebow. That'd be great. Yeah, in-state school, especially we get behind them, right? VCU, that'd be fun, man. Great people down there. I know a lot of the people down there. I'd love to see that. My daughter went there. Yeah, there you go. Duke wins this tournament. Miami going to the national title. I mean, Miami's already shown that they should have been in the title game on the football side. But I don't know, nobody's bashed Duke, the ACC basketball side this year. And they got rewarded. They got 8 teams in the tournament. Now, one's been eliminated. You don't want to go 0 for 2, right, tonight. But I think the ACC didn't really get disrespected on the basketball side of things. But, boy, it sure did on the football side of things. And it sure did a few years ago when Florida went undefeated and they weren't granted access. You better believe it. That's still the stupidest thing, and then trying to defend that as much as they did with the reasons they gave. The stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, SEC got 10. And I'm telling you, that's why I look, and every year it seems like the SEC gets so many teams, and that's why they get beat early. They don't deserve to be there. Two things that are laughable. Don't expand the tourney and play Big South tourney and say, or I'm sorry, inarguable. Don't expand the tourney and play Big South and Salem. Oh, that would be awesome. We had it in Roanoke many years ago when I first started at Radford. Matter of fact, the first 2 years that I started at Radford. I picked VCU, upset the University of Non-Compliance. I did too. Marva's going to be very upset. Yeah, she was sending me propaganda yesterday. First of all, she sends me something from this guy who wrote for the Bleacher Report. I'm like, first of all, the Bleacher Report's just fans. There's a pocket of fans in that certain area writing about the team. Most of the time, it's college kids. So you take that with a grain of salt. Like, they called North Carolina, and what'd they call them? A program that's laying low that might make a run. When did North Carolina, a blue blood, how do you put them as a program laying low? They're number 6 seed. And then Mara got mad because I applied logic to the situation. I don't think they're laying low. They lost Caleb Wilson, so I know the shine is off of it a little bit for them to go a long way in the tournament, but they're not laying low. She did. She looked great in those Duke colors. I mean, I think royal blue is her color. Those were funny, Wayne. Those were well done. The one where it said beat Carolina, man, that was well done. Her holding the beat Carolina sign was good. That was great. Mike McGuire coming up here at the top of the hour. We're going to talk more about the women's NIT. Joining us now on the program, fresh back from the ACC tournament, is the Hall of Famer on multiple ends, David Teel. What's up, David? How are you, brother?
Good morning, Rick.
Hey, how'd it go, man? I always think about you at the tournament. I know you were having a blast, man. How many does that make now for you that you've covered?
43 in a row.
43 in a row. And, man, you had some good basketball, did you? What were some of the things that stood out now that you're separated from it watching all the games?
Well, the Duke-Virginia final was top shelf in every regard. Shooting percentages weren't great because that's what happens when teams play defense.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
And Ugonna Onyenso defends like few others we've ever seen. 21 block shots in 3 games. Cam Boozer, he's the National Player of the Year, and he deserved to be MVP of the tournament because of how he affects winning in so many different ways. Witnesses 8 assists in the final. But he couldn't get it over on Onyenso. Boozer went 3 for 17 from the floor, and yet Duke still finds a way to win, and Duke still finds a way to win absent 2 starters. You know, last year, John Shire coached that bunch to an ACC tournament championship without Cooper Flagg. And this year he does it without Caleb Foster and Pat Gamba. John Shire knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He's pretty good, isn't he? He's pretty good. Remember, both those guys in the title game know what they're doing, don't they, on the sideline? There's no question. No question.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Odom coached a superb game, and he's coached a superb season.
He has.
And the Cavaliers, head up to Philadelphia as the number 3 seed in the Midwest region.
Do you know the tournament prognosis exactly? I haven't really heard anything specific about the injured Duke players because obviously this is a team that when they're full throttle are the best team in the country. So how are they looking to kind of get those guys back? Have you heard anything substantial?
Caleb Foster is not going to play anything short of the Final Four, and even then I'd be surprised if he does. I mean, he had surgery.
Yeah.
He's going to be a minute. Pat Gamba has a better chance. Shire's been rather cryptic about it. He did say, I believe on Jeff Goodman's podcast Sunday night, that Gamba has yet to do anything on the court. So I don't know if we'll see him against Siena on Thursday. I would not be surprised in the least if we saw him in the second round on Saturday against either Ohio State or TCU.
Mm-hmm. Well, you hate that in a way, don't you? You hate to see teams that have been that good not have their full complement of players for the tournament. I hate to see that. I know it's reality.
Rick, it's all over.
I know. I know.
JT Toppin at Texas Tech and maybe Christian Anderson, depending on how his groin is after that glass court fiasco in Kansas City. And you've got Richie Saunders at BYU. You've got Kion Brown at Louisville. SMU says BJ Edwards will be back tonight against Miami of Ohio in the first 4. But injuries have, Carolina without Caleb Wilson. It's you hate to see it, and it's been a rash this season, especially late.
Well, if not Duke, who do you like? What matchups do you like now looking at the bracket in the ACC? I mean, Carolina, you mentioned they're wounded. Virginia, they have all the things in place. They could be solid. Do you like somebody that we're not thinking about out of the ACC specifically that could do some good things in this tournament?
Rick, I think there's a reason that Duke and Virginia are the only ACC teams among the top 4 regional seeds. And I don't know if you look at the bracket and say, man, here's an ACC team that I really think can get to the second weekend. Clemson, there's another team that is all of a sudden hurt because Welling got, he tore an ACL in the first round of the ACC tournament. So Clemson, even if it gets past Iowa in the 8-9 game, then they're staring down the barrel at Florida's front line. And Clemson would be without its leading rebounder. That's not going to work. So I can't imagine Clemson getting out of Tampa and on to the second weekend. I'm trying to remember the second seed that Miami would play. Miami would get Purdue.
Nope.
Does not strike me as a very good matchup for the Hurricanes, especially the way the Boilermakers turned it around in the Big Ten tournament. So I think it's going to be a rough first weekend for the ACC.
What do you like? People are asking me, I'll ask you. I mean, last year we had 4 number 1s. It was all chalk. And to be honest, you kind of sat there at the end like, yeah. But do you think there's a squad or two that you like, you see matchups as you've gone through at lower seeds that fans can kind of pull for the underdog that might go on some kind of big 2-week run here?
Well, I don't have any non-chalk Final Four picks for you. That's for sure.
Right.
My bracket has 3 number 1s and a number 2 in Houston. But I certainly think there are some higher seeds or lower seeds that can make some. I think VCU's got an excellent chance to beat Carolina. I think Akron, if you're looking for a double-digit seed that might survive to the Sweet 16, Akron could be your bet.
Yeah,
they get Texas Tech, wounded Texas Tech in the first round, and then probably Alabama in the second round. And Alabama's dealing with off the court drama.
Right, that's right.
You get a player busted for having all kinds of weed in his apartment with apparently intent to distribute, allegedly. And he's facing felony charges and probably won't be playing. So beware the Zips.
I like that. And I like McNeese, but the matchup's really tough for them. Hofstra's a good. I've watched Hofstra play twice, and every time I see him, I'm like, but their matchup it's just you'd like to be able to make that move, but I don't think I can. On either one.
Yeah, Hofstra plays Alabama, right? Remember that correctly? Yeah.
First round.
Yeah, and McNeese playing a scorching hot Vanderbilt team.
I know.
Right now, Vanderbilt really played well. I mean, they torched Florida in the SEC semis and then gave Arkansas a heck of a run in the final.
They did. What's your thoughts on that St. John's potential? I think it's a Sweet 16 matchup with Duke. People are asking because they love, Rick Pitino's obviously on fire right now. Could that be the game? Because Duke, like you said, so beat up that could catch them right there.
It could, especially given that St. John's has a big who can match up with Cameron Boozer in Ejiofor, who's the Big East Player of the Year. But don't overlook St. John's second round game, Bill Self versus Rick Pitino.
I know.
It's remarkable, Rick, as long as those two coaches have been around, both in the Hall of Fame, this would only be their second meeting. And the other was when Rick was at Iona and they played Kansas. So Kansas St. John's might be the spiciest second round matchup potentially on the board.
Yeah, I agree. The committee, and you know what? We always criticize them, and you sat in the room one year and you watched how this unfolds, but you know what? I didn't hear hardly any blowback this year. I think this might be one of the best years in terms of they didn't leave anybody out. It didn't feel like that. I don't see a lot of belly aching about it this year.
Nor should there be. Nobody has really any reason for outrage. Are there some seed quibbles, especially with Vanderbilt as a 5? Might be a little too low for the Commodores, sure. But on the whole, I think they got 37 at large correct. One thing I would have quibbled with, had VCU lost the A-10 title game to Dayton, I believe the Rams should have been in.
Yeah.
But they would not have been. If you look at the seeds, VCU, had it lost, was out. And I believe Oklahoma was the first team out, and the Sooners would have been in.
Interesting. And you said
actually that's not right, Rick. Dayton just would have replaced VCU, but still VCU would not have been in the field, and I think that would have been a mistake.
Agreed. And people, I bring this up a lot, but you sat in on that whole process, right? You talked about this before. That had to be one of the most interesting things you've done in your magnificent career, to be able to watch how all that unfolded.
I was fortunate enough. This is quite a while ago, but I did a mock selection in Indianapolis with the basketball group, and then several years later, I did a mock selection in Dallas with the college football playoff. It's pretty cool to experience and to participate in.
I bet it is, because there's so many things that they're talked about that we don't know about and so forth. We hear about it, but that was cool. You got to do that. So you get a better vibe, what's going on. You can kind of get a better feel. Has it helped you kind of guess how things are going to go with some of these bubble teams since then?
Yeah, it gives me, I think, a greater appreciation for the process and the actual voting process and how it all works, and then how the brackets come together.
Well, I have to ask you, we've had a lot of discussion, and I've seen a lot of vitriol thrown at Mike Young and Tech men's basketball for turning down the NIT. What were some of your thoughts about that? The clip of you asking the question a couple of years ago, and Mike Young saying they would never turn it down, right? Because we're competitors. Well, here we are here in 2026.
Yeah, I think any vitriol directed to Mike Young is misdirected. This, unless I'm mistaken, this was not his call.
Right.
In fact, after the loss in the ACC tournament this year, Mike Young clearly said, I look forward to coaching this team again. He was anticipating competing in the NIT. And the players thought otherwise. Now, was Amani Hansberry going to be a go? No, he wasn't. But I'm sure there were others on the team who wanted to play, and clearly there were others who did not. And Virginia Tech allowed them to make the decision, which in today's world of college athletics is typical of athlete empowerment.
Yeah, that's true.
But if I'm paying the athletes, by golly, they're going to play.
I'm with you there too. And that's why people were speculating. Is that just something the administration just allowed to do, just strictly the players, or did anybody up top kind of have any influence on that you've heard?
I think clearly they did not, or the Hokies would be in the NIT.
They just let it go. Wow, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. And I agree with you, but it's been crazy. I didn't know the NIT was that important to people, but apparently it is. And I'm not surprised, because he was on this show and he kind of told us early in the year that the NIT was not the end goal. This team was thinking about, hearing their name called on Selection Sunday, and that didn't happen. So I wasn't surprised at all.
No, the NIT is not that important, but it's the competition, and it's the opportunity to participate in tournament single elimination basketball. There is a portion of this team that I believe Mike Young wants to retain moving forward. And that's an experience that could benefit them. And Rick, part of sports is dealing with adversity. Okay, so the NIT is a little bit of adversity. Suck it up.
Yeah, right. So you can see that side of it from a fan's point of view. Then we found out that, Chris Coleman was on the show this week, found out that a scholarship got pulled that was going to be endowed. He found out that, the contract extension, maybe they're going to hold that for a little while to announce it. Maybe that's not a good look. So it does create other problems, doesn't it, when you make that decision?
Sure. I think it causes problems in the locker room more than anything.
Well, this tournament is likely the last one. Do you think the expansion happens next year? What's your opinion about that? I wanted to get your take on that because I love the way it's set up now. And I love Tuesday. Last night was fun, the 2 close wins at the end. And then tonight will be fun. But are we going to have this again in 2026, 2027, do you think?
I think we'll have more of it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have more essentially first 4 games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Is that the end of the world? No. Is it ideal? No. I think the state of the proverbial bubble this season shows us that tournament expansion is unnecessary. That said, I don't think I've ever looked forward more to a first 4 game than SMU Miami of Ohio.
I know.
That building tonight is going to be lit. That's about 40 minutes from the Oxford campus. Those people are going to flood UD Arena. And it's going to be a road game for SMU. They're favored, SMU is. But, man, I will be in front of a television at 9 whatever tonight in my hotel room in Philly or somewhere in a sports bar in Philly watching that game.
Yeah, it'll be fun because they got a huge chip on their shoulder, man. Everybody was talking against them. It was the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. Go 31-1, and they're not supposedly worthy anymore, and they barely get in with the first 4. It was, and all the Auburn arguments. It was ugly. It was an ugly thing.
Bruce Pearl is insufferable, and now he has a platform, and the way he acted at the SEC tournament was like a petulant child. And no team that's 1 game over 500 has ever received an at-large bid. Auburn was 1 game over 500. No team with 16 losses has ever received an at-large bid.
Right.
Auburn has 16 losses. Shut up.
That's right. End of story. And they won 31 games, for God's sake. So leave them alone. They earned it. That's what Miami, Ohio is what this tournament's all about. So, but yeah, the only other first 4 game that I think I was more excited about is when Radford won out, when we won ours against LIU Brooklyn. Well, David, have fun in Philly, man. There's a lot of stuff to do there, huh? In that Philadelphia. That's fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's stuff to do, and there's going to be good basketball.
You're going to have lots of good stuff to do.
When you got Tennessee up there, you've got UConn, you've got UCLA, you've got some top shelf programs and coaches and players. We're really looking forward to it.
Oh, it'll be great. And we're looking forward to your coverage as always, man. Stay safe in your travels and enjoy every second of it. I know you will.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Be well.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, man. You too. Great stuff from David Teel. Yeah. Can't think of any of these tournaments without David Teel. That's just the way I look at it. Good stuff. Bruce Pearl is completely insufferable. That was great. All right. Gets Coach McGuire his interview here. We're going to talk some more Radford women's hoops with Coach McGuire a little bit. This team really started to play well the last month of the season, and we'll talk about all that. It's a good question, Tebow. Do the players not voting show that their heads weren't in it? Because it sure looked like that was the case in several games, letting 19-year-olds to make the decisions of the team is par. Yeah, it is. For teams they're not even likely going to stay on. Yeah. Yeah, and the Broncos made a big move yesterday, and I can't wait to talk to David Smith about that. On the surface, it feels like they gave up a lot for Jalen Waddle, but then again, I understand why they did it, but we'll see. I got a bad glare, don't I? Let me go fix that glare. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It's been cold, and it's been raining and snowing, so we can't really do with that. Look at the divine hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. All right, we got it going now. We're good to go, I think. Sorry about that. Please go join our tournament challenge. It's Big Dog Sports Talk, BIGDAWG. If you want the link, send me a question, and I'll be glad to get it to you. Be glad to send you the link. It's always a lot of fun when we're on there together having fun. It's free. There'll be some prizes at the end, and we'll have a great time. We'll have a great time. Mike McGuire going to join us here coming up. The only difference between the Boy Scouts and the Tech Athletic Department, the Boy Scouts have no supervision. Yeah. The things that I get from people I know over there are not positive. I don't like players getting power, but if many of the players don't want to play, and you have two injured players out anyway, you really can't field a team anyway. Yeah. Like I said, I never thought twice about it just because of what we were told. And, boy, like I said, I never thought I'd see the kind of backlash we've seen from it. But it's been huge. It's been huge. But it all has been directed toward one person, which I think is interesting. All right. Thanks a lot to David Teel, Damien Sordelette, Kion Brown joining us now. There he is. He is the head women's basketball coach at Radford University, and he's directed his team back into the WNIT. And for the first time ever in Radford basketball, men or women history, we're hosting a postseason tournament, not the Big South. Coach, how are you? Welcome.
Good morning. How you doing, Rick?
Doing great, man. Listen, first of all, congratulations. And Joy and Ellie were great yesterday, getting great response for them. But, man, oh, man, this is cool. This is huge for our athletic department. And seeing everybody come together to have this happen, I know what this means to you personally, what it means to your program.
Yeah, it's awesome, you know, and things transpired, I guess, pretty quickly starting Sunday night. We knew we had the automatic bid to the WNIT, and then they started to reach out with just some interest in hosting, and things progressed pretty quick on Monday. And then once we agreed to host, honestly, I had no idea that this was the first postseason game in the history of Radford basketball in the Devon Center. I had no idea because, as you know, we've had a lot of great teams on both sides and a lot of great basketball seasons. So I was unaware that this was the first postseason home game ever. So this is a special opportunity for this team, our program, and like you said, the athletic department and the institution. So we're very appreciative of this opportunity. We need to maximize this. You know, we need to make this a great event. I know we're working hard to do that, and it's a great opportunity for Radford Athletics, our team, to make this a great opportunity for all of us.
Well, and it will be, and these young ladies deserve it. I mean, let's talk about your squad, and you really got things going. Every coach wants, right? February, let's get it going. Let's start playing good basketball, and your ladies did that, and, man, put together a great run in the tournament, and what Joy did on Championship Sunday was just phenomenal to watch her just take over that game. That was fun. I know they fell a little short, but, boy, that was fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. This team really found its stride towards the end of the year. I think we finished the regular season winning, I think, 12 of our last 14. One of those losses was in overtime. The other loss was by 5. So they were really starting to play pretty well. And then to see how we played in Johnson City over those 3 games, I thought was really fun. As a head coach, you want your team to be loose and free and aggressive. And I thought for the most part in all 3 contests we did that. The first contest we scored 54 points in the first half, which we tied a tournament record. So just to see the offensive connection just kind of come together in the opening night, because I think as you know, that quarterfinal game is always hard.
It is, yeah.
Sometimes that's the hardest game because you feel pressure and excitement, all the emotions going into it, and you want to advance. So you never know how your team's going to respond. And for us to play a 54-point first half and set a tournament record, that was great. And I think the second and third quarters against Longwood was probably the best 2 quarters we have played all year defensively. To be up 25 going into the fourth quarter was great. And then in the championship game, I was heartbroken for them. They played so well. I really think it came down to one small stretch of 3 or 4 possessions. And as you know, basketball is a game of runs, and in that game, that's what it came down to. And we had one small segment where we couldn't string together enough good offensive possessions, and we couldn't squeak it out. But I think it was a great game for the league. A lot of compliments about the competitive spirit from both teams. So it was a great run, and I'm glad we can keep playing with this group because I think they're a great group. It's become one of the best teams in program history, not just with wins, but just with a lot of things in the record book. So I hope Friday night's a special night for everybody.
Well, and as you mentioned, we had Ellie on yesterday, and as you mentioned in the post-game presser, something about her, what she's dealt with injury-wise and what she brings to your program when she's healthy, right? And when she's been out there, you've had a lot of success. It says a lot about her. Talked to her a little bit yesterday before your practice. She's just so appreciative of everything because she's worked so hard to get back. And I know for you, given what we talk about all the time, I see you in the hallway at Radford, what's going on in athletics, that has to just always bring you back home as to why you do this, stories like her.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Ellie. Ellie's in a lot of ways, she's the epitome of what a student athlete truly is in terms of making a real investment and commitment into your day-to-day process, the program. You're right. It's not a coincidence that both years she could play, we were in the conference championship game. I mean, it's just, was not always a kid that's going to, pop out on the stat sheet and lead us in scoring or rebounding, but the competitive fire, the juice that she plays with, her leadership qualities have grown a lot since she's been here. And it's not an accident that we've had a lot of success since she's been in the program. And me being heartbroken was probably tied to Ellie quite a bit, because I don't think people understand how much it is now to recover from an ACL injury.
No, I know.
And then to sit out last season. She wanted to fully recover and give everything she had in her last season. So she means a lot to me and to this program. For her to go 18 months and really prepare herself to give her best for this program this season, I wanted that championship badly for her. This was how much she's poured into this program. But, we did come up a little bit short, but I'm glad we can keep playing, give her another home game. She's been one of the best leaders I've coached in my coaching career. So she's a special person, a great leader, and just an awesome competitor. So I hope people that come on Friday night, or if they have a chance, if they'll just tell her how much they appreciate her, because she's as good as it gets.
She is. And whenever she was hurt, every time I saw her, she smiled.
Yeah.
She would always update me. I'm going to be okay. Everybody has setbacks. She would say that. Everybody has setbacks. I'm having a setback, but I'm going to come through it. And then it was great to find out she's wants to be a coach. And I thought, that's perfect. She's going to be able to influence people's lives like you have. And she's going to have that same mindset as she teaches young ladies going forward. I think that's great.
She's going to be an awesome coach. And I don't know if it came up much yesterday, but our Coaches Association, the WBCA, they have a program every year at the Final Four. It's called So You Want to Be a Coach program. And it's a competitive program that you have to apply for and be accepted. And Ellie was one of, I think, 40 or 45 ladies that is accepted into this year's program. So she will be going to Phoenix to participate in that So You Want to Be a Coach program. So she has a bright future in coaching. I'm very excited for her. She's got the mindset and the makeup and the drive to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's going to be fantastic.
Well, and I mentioned it yesterday to her, going through what she's gone through, it's going to help her so much with young people going through adversity. I lived it. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. I just think she's going to be on a fast track. I really do. However that works out for her. So.
I do. I think she's got the personality. She has the work ethic, even the basketball knowledge. It's already high level, to be such a young player. So, yeah, she's got the tools and she's got the work ethic to impact the program pretty quickly, and also to help young women. And I know that's a priority for her. So, basketball's, as she's mentioned, given her a lot, and I know she's ready to pour into some young people and help them grow as a coach. So, very excited for her.
Well, looking ahead to the matchup on Friday, 7 o'clock, folks. Tickets are on sale now. Basketball here in the NRV. It's the only place you're going to find it. Let's come support them. Morehead State, I know a program you have a lot of respect for. I believe you've played not too long ago, right? I remember Morehead State being on the schedule, so you know all about that team out of Kentucky.
Yeah, they. I think the last time we played them was 2018 that season. So they've changed a little bit. They have a new head coach. So in her first year, she's done a great job. This group, looking at them, starting on Sunday night, they have a lot of versatility. They have some international flavor to their roster. They have a 6'3" kid from Russia that's going to be kind of the focal point of their half-court offense, and they have some pretty good depth in shooting in the perimeter. So it's going to be a scrappy group. It's going to be a gritty group. They had a great year. I think at one point they were tied for first in the OVC. And they actually beat Western Illinois, who won the OVC. They beat Lindenwood, who finished second. So they did finish fourth, but they were right in the mix to win a regular season championship in the OVC. So this is a good basketball team that's coming into the Devon Center. I think both teams have had a great year, so it should be an awesome game.
And tickets aren't inexpensive at all. And I know early response has been very positive. It has to have everybody excited. I know the players are pretty excited yesterday. They've gotten a lot of good response too, so that's great.
Yeah, we're really excited. I appreciate everybody that's pouring into this opportunity, this contest. I know marketing's been working diligently on ways to get people here Friday night. We've had some special donors, and I can't thank them enough. They have paid for 700 tickets for students.
That's awesome.
So we're trying the next, 3 days to get, can we get 700 students in the Devon Center Friday night? So, yeah, Friday night at 7 o'clock. If you have nothing going on, if you want to watch some basketball, I know the NCAA tournament's going on TV, but this is a great opportunity for our program. Hopefully, we can build some momentum from this game, building into next season with home game attendance and energy. So there's a lot we can use from this game to build in postseason into next year. So I hope Radford will get behind this, and we'll make this a great opportunity for this institution. This is not us. I mean, this is a Radford thing, and we want to make sure we're doing what we need to do. So it's a special night for us.
Directing your team into the postseason is a reward for the kind of regular season you had. And I know you want your team to have fun, but it's back down to business now, right? You have to turn it back onto that. So you've done this before. You've had them in the postseason. How do you handle that? What's the best way to handle that as a coach in your experience?
Well, the last time we played was on the 8th, and we're not playing again until the 20th. So I thought rest was important. That's one thing. When you go into that tournament, if you're fortunate enough to advance to the championship game, after that game, and your kids pour everything they have into that. I mean, they're exhausted, mentally and physically. So, we took 3 days off. Thought they needed that. We practiced last Thursday and Friday. Then we gave them the weekend off. So it's their first weekend off they've had probably since Christmas. I know some went home to see family, which is also very important. So this week we've tried to get back into playing mode. And we've done some small segments of competing. Because as I told the team yesterday, the institution's doing a great job giving this opportunity. We owe that back, and need to give a best effort for this game and play well. we need to execute and play well and be disciplined and remember what made us a really good team. We can't lose sight of that and lose momentum because that's easy to do with a 12-day break. So understanding what makes us good, what our strengths are, staying connected. Because that's what this time of the year comes down to. It's every team is competitive. Every team wants to advance. It's a good basketball team. I think it comes down to fundamentals and who can play the strengths the best. So just constantly reminding our teams, our girls of that, and just making sure our execution is back to being precise and on point. So we have a couple more days to clean that up.
And I can tell just talking to some of the players yesterday, Coach, they really have an appreciation of the fact they get to continue to play together a little longer, right? They weren't ready for the season to end, so this is cool. You can tell how excited they are about that, to be able to see their teammates again on the practice floor. You could sense that yesterday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you said that. Sometimes when you lose in a final, in such a good game and a close game, you just never know how your group is going to respond. And, sometimes it's hard to recover from a tough loss.
Yeah, it's true.
When you want a championship so badly. But I think it speaks volumes about the kind of group that we have right now. That they said, no, we care about each other. We appreciate each other. We don't want this season to be over. Our staff did tell them, last week, even though you come up short in one game and it's close, that doesn't mean you're not a postseason team. And
right.
we thought for a long time that this was a postseason team. Just with how they were playing, their metrics, their efficiencies, and the 22 wins. So I'm just glad they want to make this as long of a season as possible because they're a great group and they poured into this program. So I'm excited for them.
No, it's an exciting time. I think a lot of people are. And again, it's 7:00 this Friday night, and let's go out and support the ladies. Coach, I know you'll have them ready, and congratulations on the terrific season. And there's a reason you're the all-time winningest coach in Radford women's basketball history, and it's not an accident. So you're tremendous at what you do, man. It's great to have you around the department. I know what you mean as a leader to these young women as well, because I hear it all the time. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Well, I appreciate that. It is an honor and a blessing to be the head coach here, and I think we've talked about it before briefly. It's been a life-changing experience for me, and I love the people that I work with, who I'm around every day. And you and I know, I think Radford's still a hidden gem in a lot of ways, but it is a great place. And we're really looking forward to Friday night, and we appreciate all the support all season long from you and from everybody. So let's have a great time Friday night. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let's keep it going all the way through March. Why not? Let's go. Let's go.
That's right.
All right, Coach. Have a great day, man. I'll see you in a little while. Take care, man.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, man. There you go. Mike McGuire, head women's basketball coach, Radford University. Islanders 7:00 on Friday, Morehead State. So come on by and hang out. I mean, like I said, check it out. We got live basketball here in the NRV, affordable. So come watch. And you've already met two of the players, so you know the kind of people that you're getting. As frustrating as we get. As frustrated as we get with what's going on everywhere, this is one of those opportunities where you can really find an appreciation for the type of people that are out playing and so forth. So good stuff all the way around. And we're pulling like heck for them. Thanks to Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio here in Reiner, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green. I think after today we get warm again, so we can get out there and do some more stuff. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic Clinic. I'm going to reach out to him to do the run-through for the video. That's right. The NRV Super Bowl at 382-5525. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 540-381-8011. That's on 300 North Franklin Street. And you can prepare your NCAA watching over at the Super Bowl. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Our newest sponsor is Sundown Electric with Jeff Smith and his brother. One of the best reputations of any business around in our area. They're down in Elliston, and they're branching out regionally because they're so good at what they do. They always communicate, and they always are very honest about the pricing, and they never try to jab anybody, and the quality of their work is unmatched. So reach out to Sundown Electric. Ready, Set, Fun with Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. ReadySetFund.com is raising money for groups. You need to get in on that. You knew Progressive Door Incorporated, that's Travis Williams in Dublin. Talk about another business that is just impeccable. What Travis has done, continuing what his father did for 38 years now. They've been together. That business anyway, residential commercial garage doors. They're now a regional business as well. We helped find them a few employees. They had so much work, they didn't have enough people. You talk about a great career move. I mean, you could reach out and find out where they are with everything, but Travis is the best. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST, and my exclusive banking partner. The BDST fan question of the week, brought to you by the attorney Ryan Pry, will reveal the upset that you picked the most tomorrow, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And we had somebody ask me yesterday, and I said, there's one person you need to go see about your trust questions. Ryan Pry. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. I mean, I don't know how many times I can give them accolades because I worked with them in a very stressful situation, and they came through for it. When you lose your heating and air units, your house is cold, that's a problem. And they made it not a problem in a very short amount of time. And finally, last but not least, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. What they have done with this IHRA partnership, I don't think is getting enough credit. I know we appreciate it. People around Pulaski County. We're going to have Stacy Compton on Friday. He's going to talk more about it. He's been busy organizing. The first weekend of racing is coming up, and it's getting terrific response, and it's so much fun. It's awesome what the kind of drive and motivations Jonathan and they have up in Pulaski County. It is going to benefit all the other communities around here too. I think you're going to have partnerships unlike you've ever seen before amongst different counties and, local government, municipals and all that. It's really good stuff. So thanks to them, and thanks to, what Stacy's doing, being here now. He's located here. It's just great. It's just great. I think that's everyone. Is that everyone? That's everyone. Yeah. Tomorrow on the show, what is tomorrow? Thursday. So tomorrow we've got, I believe David Smith's going to be on, Andy Bitter, Alex Quera from Radford Baseball, and Dwight Vick. I think that's our Thursday tomorrow. We still have some time here, though. So hit me up on the text line. Anything that might be on your mind. Let me see what's going on here. I always like to check X, see what else is broken up here. People still complaining about the Barkley Vitale broadcast. It was terrible, by the way. It was really bad. Really bad. Really bad because they just didn't have any care about the game. Yeah, everybody's showing what happened with the Texas coach who ran out on the floor. Sean Miller was very angry at that coach. That should have been a technical. They let go. They let that go. Yeah. Brian Mull. Brian, Sports Matters, good friend of mine, covers our region of basketball, said UNCG really fired Mike Jones to hire Gerard Haas. These ADs get what they deserve. Yes. UNCG doesn't even have the blinded by football bunny excuse for this ridiculous decision. So, yeah, the AD's good friends with them. Yeah. And that's usually what happens, right? You have personal relationships that skew your thinking, and that's what happened down at UNCG. Still getting ripped. Yeah, it was bad. The reason it was bad was they just turned it into a clown show. And I like Barkley as a studio host. He should never be on a game broadcast, especially with college basketball, a sport that he admits that he doesn't know a lot about. And you keep parading Vitale out there, and this is not a slight on what he's been battling health-wise, but to turn that into a 2-hour cancer commercial was a bit much. We all know he's very, very vocal about the things he's battled through, and it's great. But And then Brian Anderson, who's really good, didn't have his voice, and I could sympathize there. He kept trying to bring the game back, and it was just a mess. An absolute mess of a broadcast. And then the first guy, can we stop, for the love of God, don't call the basket a cup. Johnson, into the lane, to the cup. And is this a golf tournament we're talking about here? Are we talking about, drinking games with change? It's not a cup. I thought that trend, I was hoping that trend, kind of like the two things that I hear, and it's usually younger broadcasters, is cup, talking about the basket. It's not a cup. It's never made sense to call it a cup. And when they go RBI is plural. Look, I don't care about how it's written. Well, technically it's runs batted in. It's not run batted ends, runs batted ends. Shut up. You know how stupid you sound when you go, he has 12 RBI. He has 4 RBI in this game. No, he has RBIs. I know. I don't care about the grammatical part of it. Don't hit me with that crap. It's not RBI. It's not radii. It's radius. Cups protect family jewels, Wayne says. By the way, Wayne, I saw you went it. You did. You went with every pick has its thorn. You're welcome. You're welcome, America. Jump in our BDST pick 'em. Big Dog Sports Talk through ESPN Tournament Challenge. Big DAWG Sports Talk. It's easy. We'll see who rules. We'll have a few prizes at the end, but we'll have a lot of fun. Cost absolutely nothing. Was it more inspiring than Poison themselves? Can you be inspired by Poison's music? Every rose has its thorn. Every day has its dawn. Hey, that rhymes. No, it really doesn't. Not at all. Bobby asks, great stuff about Radford. What about Coach Duffy? Well, I've told that story. We reached out a few weeks ago. Got a great initial response. Looked like it was going to happen. And nothing happened. I followed up. I got hang on. Let me double check on that. A week went by. Followed up again. Nothing. I mean, all I can do is try. So the effort was made. I would love to have had her on talking about, the matchup heading to take on Oregon. Would have loved to. But there you go. So it wasn't for a lack of effort. Why it went from looked like it was going to happen that same week to no response, who knows? Kind of falls in line with what I'm hearing about with things happening over there. So all I can do is try. That's all I can do. And we're fine. We're fine. Wish them well, but we're fine. JMU has Kentucky first. Tech could eventually get there. But they have to win 2 games, though, right? That would be a Sweet 16 game. Is that right? I haven't looked at that bracket very closely. I've been focused on the men's bracket and our tournament challenge. Kion went through his picks today, by the way. If you missed it, go back and watch. Yeah, Wayne, and she'd been on, 2 or 3 times before? So we had a great rapport. Heck, one of the conversations, we just talked about her family. So I doubt it's her. She may not have even gotten the message. And she's busy coaching her team. If she found out about it, she'd probably go, okay, yeah. And then, she's not thinking about it. She's a coach. Coach, don't forget about, oh, yeah, I'm glad you told me, right? That's the way it is. I don't put this on her at all. At all. In any way, shape, or form do I put it on her. So I agree with that 100%. But it is what it is. Spring practice today won't be anything heavy for a while, but you'll start to hear some tidbits. I know people are excited. We'll try to keep you updated on everything that's going on out of that. Andy Bitter on tomorrow, so we'll be able to speak directly to that after day one and how his coverage is going to be, formulated here coming up. Glad to hear Damien's happy about the schedule. I wasn't sure. I read all that about the media schedule, but they seem pretty pleased, which is awesome. I hope they get the access that they're expecting. It's great. Because I think we have local people that cover this program in a different variety than James Franklin's used to, as Chris Coleman said correctly on Monday. It's easy to attach what happened before, where you've been before, to your new place, but you have to let the new place kind of develop and speak for itself too. But, hey, enjoy the first 4 games, the second round of first 4 games tonight. And, man, oh, man, we'll be back tomorrow on Thursday, and it's day 1 of the official bracket. Don't forget you have until noon tomorrow in our bracket to fill it out. Please jump in, Big Dog Sports Talk, through the ESPN Tournament Challenge. Spread the word. Call the neighbors. Wake the kids. Enjoy the rest of your hump day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. Take care. As always, please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Encourage people to do so as we make our trek toward 1,000. We'll see you.